Hi YouTube, so today I'm doing my Q&A video. I asked you guys on Monday what questions you'd like me to do, and I'm just going to go through them all. So the first question is from Luna, and it's, I would like to know about your skin routine and how you get it so smooth. Also, where do you shop and how did you go about developing your own personal style, and a brief explanation of it please with a cherry on top. And so I will explain that. So first question, I do actually take tablets for my skin to keep it clear, because I did go through a phase recently where my skin was really bad and I had to go to the doctors about it, and it was just really all very annoying. I am actually planning on doing a updated skincare routine video. Also, where do you shop? I shop mainly in H&M, ASOS, online. I shop quite a bit online. Like this dress, for example, is from ASOS Marketplace. It's like a second-hand place online where I buy quite a lot of my clothes. How did you go on about developing your own personal style? I think it's something that takes a long time really, and you just try out different things that you're drawn to, and over the time you find out what works best for you. Music artists that I really am inspired by obviously do have a big impact in how I dress. But yeah, it's just all about just taking your time really, and for me it's taken years, and I'm still, you know, obviously still developing it. It's just an ongoing thing really, so just enjoy it and experiment with it and just have fun. Next question is from Sarah. Do you have any advice for new goths and in general for growing up and being confident in how you look? Also, have you thought about ever selling your art? I love you so much and you're beautiful. Thank you so much. If you're just starting out in the whole thing, just don't put too much pressure onto yourself. Don't feel like you need to know absolutely everything about the subculture, because who the hell does anyway? It's gonna take time, like getting into it all anyway, and just enjoy the experience of just getting into it instead of worrying about people judging you. Be proud of what you love. Have you ever thought about selling your art? I don't know, would anyone even be interested in buying it? Probably not. I mean, I'd love to, that would be amazing. Lou asks, where did you get the pictures on your wall from? Like, is it all from magazines, or do you buy them in shops, or do you print them out, or what? Because you've got some cool stuff on your wall, thank you. Also, I think you're really sweet and adorable, love your vids, thank you so much. So, like that, like big, like poster in the middle, that is something I bought on eBay. My Susie Sue poster I also bought on eBay, but everything around it is just smaller ones, are really like cut out from magazines and books. I am planning on doing like something over here, printing things out for that instead of cutting things out of magazines. So yeah, it's kind of from all over the place really. Michael asks, how is your art coming along? Will you be showing any of it soon? Maybe when I finish my second year I'll be happy enough with what I'm producing to show the internet my art. When I am happy with like what I'm producing, I'll probably put it on, like post it on Instagram or something. But if there's something I'm not 100% happy with, I will be terrified of showing it on the internet, which is not good being an art student at all. Nocturne Machine asks, what was the first thing that drew you to the subculture, and what has changed at all over the years? What are your favourite aspects? Also, if you have any embarrassing, funny baby backstories, please do share. I love hearing people's baby backstories. What first drew me to the subculture before anything was definitely the music. I got into the music before anything else, and then kind of discovering the whole time period when it all happened. So that's what first drew me to it. Nothing's really changed about it. I think because I found out more about it, I just like more of it. I like the fashion and just the people as well. And my favourite aspects are probably I just love the whole community. It's just great being part of something where a lot of people have very similar interests to you and have like the same taste in things and kind of get you. Do you have any embarrassing baby backstories? I can't think of like any in particular, but I mean, when I first started wearing eyeliner, oh my god, it was quite tragic. I think I wore like a ton of like pencil eyeliner, but it didn't look good, and I wore like bright tights with like trainers. Like, it's quite embarrassing looking back now. Taylor asks, have you been goth your whole life? If not, what is your backstory? Why did you become a goth? I haven't, definitely not. There was no one really in my family or group of friends, like no one in my life to really introduce me to it at a young age, and it wasn't until I was 12 when I got into The Cure that's what it started it all off for me really. Molly Mars asks, are you in a relationship? I'm not in a relationship at the moment. I've been single for quite a few months now. Tabby asks, have you seen any bands live? If so, which bands? The first band I ever saw live was 30 Seconds to Mars. I've seen like the Blackout, like You Me at 6, you know, those kind of bands. My Chemical Romance. I've seen Jared Way. I saw Jared Way recently as well. Obviously The Cure, Susie Sue, Peter Murphy, OMD, Depeche Mode. Sally asks, what hair dye do you use? How do you keep it from fading? I don't really stick to the same hair dye. I've used like Superdrug's own make, their black one, but I've used quite a few different ones over the years. I always use semi-permanent. I never use permanent. I think because I've got brown hair anyway, it doesn't really notice that much when it is fading, and I just do re-dye it fairly often and keep my roots touched up. What I do to help me is definitely just not washing it that much. I wash my hair like once a week. Miss 13 asks, which are your top 5 bands, which 5 horror/Halloween movies do you like the most? Love you. Oh, thank you. I would have to say top 5 favourite bands. Number 1, obviously The Cure. Number 2, Depeche Mode. Third favourite's got to be Marilyn Manson. Number 4, Susie and the Banshees. And number 5, Japan. And which horror or Halloween movies do you like the most? I love The Ring, The Woman in Black. I know they're not really horror movies, but the Saw films, anything gory, I just love it. Particularly Saw 2 and Saw 3. Shadow of the Vampire. Wait, okay, I'm kind of doing 6, but definitely I have to say, even though it's not a horror film, it's kind of horrifying in its own way. And that is Eraserhead. That's one of my all-time favourite films. If you're into anything terribly disturbing, then I do recommend that film. David Lynch, I love David Lynch. So Kristen asks, can you recommend a good powder foundation? By the way, I love you. Thank you. I always use Collections Pressed Powder in Ivory. That's the one I always talk about in my videos. I also like Rimmel's like Stay Matte powder. That's very good for like coverage. Katie asks, what is your favourite thing about being a vlogger on YouTube? It's definitely like finding people that have the same interests as you, and just you guys are definitely the best thing about it. I just can't explain how much I love you guys and how much I appreciate you watching my videos, so it's definitely you. Alexa asks, would you ever consider getting any tattoos or piercings? Love your videos, by the way. Thank you. I probably wouldn't get any more piercings. As for tattoos, if I was ever going to get a tattoo, because I say that I won't, but if I was ever going to get a tattoo, it would probably be on my wrist. Always rather imagined having a tattoo. Something small, and it would probably be music related, but even still, I probably won't. Strawberry Safe asks, how did you get into the bands you like now? Are your friends into similar bands and appearance? My friend at the time introduced me to The Cure, as I said earlier, and that kind of just started me off discovering all the other bands. I would just kind of go on Last FM and look at similar artists and listen to them. Yeah, that was my way of discovering bands at that time. Are your friends into the similar bands and appearance? No. Nope, not at all. They kind of still put up with me. Leah asks, hi, I wanted to know what made you want to study art and what are your aspirations as an artist? Thank you, beautiful lady. Thank you for your question. What made me want to study art? I've always done art. It's just been this constant thing in my life. But I've always been one for just drawing and doing portraits in my spare time. And so I felt like it was something I could really enjoy doing at university. And what are your aspirations as an artist? Honestly, it's so hard like for me right now to kind of know what I want to do with my life, and I've got 1 year left, so I need to make up my mind pretty soon, don't I? Julia asks, opinions and thoughts on feminism. Oh, I'm a feminist, definitely 100%. My thoughts on feminism, I'm glad that more people are finding out about feminism and realising how important it is to be a feminist. I do find it a shame though that some people do kind of have a misunderstanding about what it is. They don't really understand that it is about equality. But yeah, like I said, I'm all for it. Kyoto asks, I would love to know what your 3 main lipstick shades and brands are, your favourite foundation brands and shades, hair products, where you get your clothing and shoes, and a brief history of how you became goth and what you like best about it. I guess I kind of answered the last question about how I got into it and everything. As I said, like about the music and that. But 3 main lipsticks, Ruby Woo that I'm always wearing, Russian Red by MAC, and Hollywood Red by Maybelline. Favourite foundation brands I wear, where is it? Rimmel's Lasting Finish Nude Foundation in Light Porcelain. Hair products, just dry shampoo. It's just my love. I love Squeaky Green by Lush. That's my favourite shampoo. Where do you get your clothing and shoes? As I said, mainly H&M, Brewfister and Hey Became Goth, and what I like best about it. What I definitely like best about it is just, by the way, it's just the whole, like having like a whole community of people that all just have such a big passion for the same kind of thing. Even though people within it obviously have, you know, are different and we're all individuals and we all, overall it's still very much similar interests there, and that's what I like best about it. Miss Crystal asks, I'm new to being goth and I find it hard to be confident going out dressed as a goth. Do you have any confidence issues? I've had confidence issues my whole life about how I look anyway, not even to do with like how I want to particularly dress, but even before I got into this. So it was really hard for me to kind of become confident in myself, but I definitely feel I'm there now. Confidence comes with time. The more you get used to dressing the way you do, the more confidence you'll have in yourself, the more it will just, when you first start out dressing this way, it's going to be new, it's going to be a bit weird, like dressing differently, even if it is how you want to dress. But after that, and it can take years, it took me years, but I'm just glad that I got there in the end. Right, I'm back. I just had to sort my camera out a little bit, but anyway, here we go. Blonde Beetlejuice asks what your top 10 favourite songs by The Cure, or so which albums by them are your favourite? Good question. Top 10 favourite Cure songs. Number 1, Just Like Heaven, definitely because it's the song that got me into them and it always mean everything to me, that song. Number 2, The Funeral Party. 3, I'll say Cold. 4, A Night Like This. Number 5, Snow and Summer. 6, I Love M. Number 7, Primary. Number 8, yeah, so A Letter to Elise. 9, Plain Song, something off Disintegration. And number 10, Strange Day maybe. My favourite Cure album is Faith. I also love 17 Seconds and Pornography. I love that era of their music the most. And Disintegration and The Head on the Door. Pauline asks, what do you like / dislike about this gothic subculture? I've already talked about what I like, you know, just the whole community, and I just love the whole fashion and music, of course, as well. And what do I dislike? How judgmental some people can be. It's a subculture that should be very, very, very accepting, and some people can really not be like that at all, and that's probably what I don't like about it. Sean asks, do you read much? Favourite books and authors? Oh, I haven't read in a really long time. I am more of a writer than a reader, if I'm honest. I love writing so much. But an author I do really love is Angela Carter. Leah asks, how did you get your YouTube name? Oh, and greetings from Germany. I did change my name recently, so it's now just Snowy Lowther. Lowther's my last name. Snowy is just a nickname that I kind of got. I like did it as like my Twitter name, but it kind of stuck in real life. I didn't want to use my real name on YouTube. I didn't really feel completely comfortable with doing that, so I went for my nickname instead. Choke in the Box asks, hi Snowy, what is your hair type? If I was just to wash my hair without doing anything to it, it's just dead straight. It's not thick, but it's not thin, and my natural hair colour is like a medium brown. Anonymous asked, would you ever do a video of what your family looks like? Do you mean like what, like do they dress like me and stuff? Because they don't. But I look like my dad's side of the family. They I've got like my dad's like pale skin and just like facial features. But I got my dark hair from my mum, who is quite tanned. So I look like my dad and my brothers as well. And my brothers, like children, also again just look like my dad. Everyone just seems to take after him. Anonymous asked, can you do a video tour of your house? How are your houses in the UK? I do want to definitely do a room tour. I'm not sure about a video tour of my house. I would like to do that actually. I don't know if my parents would be okay with that, but I don't live in a particularly large house. It's like quite like a wide house, more so than like long and narrow, which this house was built in the 50s, and so, but we have quite a big garden. I love our garden, but we have like a fairly small kitchen. Anonymous asked, for your Q&A video, have you ever had any bad experiences with the way you look? For example, name calling, people giving you funny looks? If so, how did you deal with it? Or if not, do you have any advice for people dealing with that? Thank you. I've never had any bad experiences at all face to face. I'm sure behind my back people have said things about me. I think after looking at these questions, I definitely want to do a proper video on how to just wear you want with confidence. As I said, just do not take in any negativity. Their thoughts and opinions on you, it's got nothing to do with you. It is just all about them and their own issues with their life. It's got no reflection on who you are as a person. So you've just got to remember, everything that you do should be for yourself and to make you happy, not to make other people happy. If someone says to you, I don't like what you're wearing, just say, I don't care if you don't like what I'm wearing. I'm not doing it for you, I'm doing it for myself. And it makes me happy, and that's all that really matters to me. But I will do a proper video on it for you, I promise. Anonymous asks, first of all, I have to tell you that I love your videos so much. They've become one of my favourite YouTubers. Thank you. Secondly, I'd like to ask, what do you think of the elitist goth's attitude towards other goths who isn't goth enough? And most of all, in your opinion, what makes someone a goth? Cheers from Finland. Hello, Anon from Finland. Firstly, I think elitist people need to just do one. It's hard enough dressing differently as it is without people who you would think accept you still turning against you. And what makes someone a goth? I think if someone calls themselves a goth, there's got to be enough genuine interest there for them to be one. Someone that calls themselves a goth probably is one, because, you know, if they didn't care that much about the subculture, then they wouldn't be calling themselves one. It really is about just having a genuine interest in the subculture, the music and the fashion for me. That's what it was about when it first started off, you know, and I think it's still very, very similar to that today. Last question. Hey, I want to ask you, who's your fashion makeup inspiration and who you want to resemble? I'd love to resemble Robert Smith. Obviously, he is probably my biggest inspiration when it comes to dressing and looking the way I do. And of course, again, Susie Sue. They're the two people that have consistently been my fashion inspirations. So that is all my questions answered. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone that asked me a question. There won't be a video next week because I'm in New York, so I will see you when I get back from my holiday. As I said, I'll be doing a skincare routine video soon, and a video about dressing goth with confidence, maybe a couple of others as well, kind of relating to these questions. Take care everyone, have a wonderful Easter, and I will see you again very soon. Bye everyone!